Hello and welcome to part two of Surveying the Horizons. This episode is still around transforming your culture, but in this episode we're going to dig a bit deeper and look at how you use your own resources to drive a new, highly productive culture. The business benefits that come from that and all the other positive features that we think that could bring. I'm joined again today by Fiona Anderson, a real expert in this area. And Fiona, if you saw part one, was talking about many of the benefits that she's seen over the years as she's managed change and culture change programs in particular. So welcome, Fiona. Good to have you with us again.
Thank you again. Thank you.
Fiona, let's kick off by talking about the culture change journey. You've got the executives engaged. Just talk us through broadly the journey again that's needed to really make this change happen.
Yeah, so once you've got the executives understanding the business benefits, then it's we identified earlier that it's about identifying your values. So you involve, when you're identifying your values, you bring in the key stakeholders, and those key stakeholders, including your key customers, your suppliers, maybe even your investors, but it's your staff who are really going to make this work or kill it. They're going to kill it or cure it. I call culture is your COVID vaccination. It either is out there killing you or it's curing you. It's a great metaphor for culture change. And in terms of bringing it forward with staff, it is very much involve. Communicates is a word that's often used, but it's such a big word. And if we think more about how do we involve people, because this is bringing hearts and minds. It's not bringing the logical brain, it's bringing the hearts and minds. It's creating a connection at an emotional level with the business. And when people connect at an emotional level, they're more likely to be able to thrive and grow, and help your team thrive and grow and your business thrive and grow. So in bringing people forward, we're helping them identify their strengths ideally. We're helping them identify where they are at their best when they're at work. We're helping be very clear about the behaviours we expect of them and their colleagues. So if we look at the opposite to all of that, where we've got somebody is normally about 20% of your staff, 25% of your staff are totally disengaged. The culture vultures, as I referred to previously, they will suck the life out of people. Whatever they are doing that is inappropriate, and they're continued to allow to do it, they will then spread that bad apple, those bad juices throughout their team. I think somebody defined culture as it's the worst behavior that we will accept in our business. I mean, that's pretty scary, isn't it?
It is scary.
And that's absolutely right. So who have you got in your team right now who is really spreading that poison through your team? And how have you helped them understand what's expected of them in terms of behaviours? How have you given them feedback? And how have you then equipped people to become part of the change? So we're talking about culture catalysts, culture vultures. Culture catalysts and culture vultures, bringing them together, people who can influence their peer group and really upskill them in culture change and the techniques. Because you are investing in them, they are becoming engaged, they're becoming really enthusiastic, and they go back out and spread the word. And so especially when people see the culture vultures making that transition, and they will, because they're being listened to, then you can start to create that real sense of the vaccination going through the business to really help the business thrive and grow.
Well, your point about communication, I think, is a really important one, because also in many organizations, a lot of people are still fearful of change because they think it might impact their job and it might impact the way they work, their future career, whatever. So this point about keeping them engaged, and I like your point about getting their emotions, really. How you get the emotional commitment to this is really vital, I think.
So what we're noticing over probably the last 10 years is this sense of purpose coming out, individual purpose. the younger generation, new to the business and becoming the managers in the business right now, are very purpose driven. And we're now seeing businesses tune into purpose. What is their purpose? So if you don't know why your company exists, if you haven't answered that question as to why do we exist as a company, then I would suggest you do it, because that's how you will tune into the millennials, into the younger generation, and grab that emotional buy-in to you. They will want to be part of you, and then link that to your vision. So we've got our purpose. Why do we exist? Vision. Where are we going? Be very clear. And you will be attracting the right people. You will be retaining the right people if you've got the culture that follows those.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on about this comment about the younger generations are probably driving a lot more than people, for example, of my generation, who were just very happy to work in a command and, well, maybe we weren't happy, but we worked in a command and control culture and just accepted it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now people want more engagement and involvement, don't they?
They want to be part of something that they believe in, something they can contribute to, something that makes a difference. Whatever that is, there is a real drive to be seen to be, not to be seen to be, but actually be committed to the organization. And they will be attracted based on your purpose and vision, your brand. They'll be looking to see what you offer to me. What's in it for me? Why should I join you? And yes, I might only be here for 2 years, but if you really create the place where I can thrive and grow and take interest in me as an individual, help me bring my strengths, help me develop, then it's transformative for the business and for the individuals within. And
you're touching on really what I wanted to ask you about next, which is, because they're really some of the benefits that you've seen. What are the tangible benefits have you seen as a result of this sort of program?
So my background initially was in retail. And when I started to do culture change, it was like, oh my goodness, I know I'm exhausted, but I cannot tell you what I've been doing or what impact I've had. So very early on in my career, I identified the need to be able to track progress. And that was certainly a reason why we won a tender recently. We were 1 out of 50 who won a tender for a leadership program about impact and clarity, because we could demonstrate our added value. So executive productivity, we worked with an executive team around their behaviours and their culture and helped them achieve a 47% improvement in their productivity.
Wow,
and that was based 47%. If you can achieve that within your exec team, wow, how powerful, how forward progressive you can be. And that was based on the Patrick Lencioni 5 behaviours, understanding the definition that when I am a member of an executive team, I make decisions for this business. I leave my department and my expertise at the back, because I'm sitting around this table as an executive member, making decisions that are right for the business, not decisions that are right for my department. So really key of the fundamental change in how people focus around the executive table. And then with an HR department, which was toxic, really toxic, they achieved a 70% improvement in how they would, in their confidence in being able to deliver the business strategy. 70% improvement. Now, if you haven't got a department like that who is functioning and able to be productive, then you've got a real cog in your wheel that is preventing that transformational change. And then with an IT department, we achieved a 21% increase in staff motivation and a 47% improvement in how they managed poor performance. And so that fairness, that trust, that ability to be able to work effectively, to work productivity, was just phenomenal. We had the very chief executive starting that off, and within 6 months we'd achieved it. We invited him back a year later, and he said, just walking into this room, he said, I can sense the difference. So there we are, chief executive sensing the difference just by the energy, the way people were collaborating and working together. Yeah, phenomenal. So what's
great that you've touched on, and I think is a lesson for many organizations, is keeping measuring this stuff.
Absolutely.
It isn't just about keeping it soft and fluffy again. It's about what are the tangible business benefits that can be driven from this. Yeah,
absolutely. So you'll see an increase in staff retention, attraction. You'll see your employee engagement surveys increase, and you will see tangible bottom line benefits. Because if you've got staff working for you are only 75% or not
Yeah.
even 75%, 25% of them are just attending rather than contributing, then you're going to see obvious benefits throughout the team, throughout the organizations.
And one of the benefits I know that you've mentioned to me previously are things like, if you're using your own resources to drive a program like this, it's the benefits that those individuals get from their involvement in the program. Can you say a bit more about that?
Yes, absolutely. So I kind of the culture vulture, culture catalyst, you're really equipping them with the skills to create the new culture. You're bringing your managers in to be able to manage and create that new culture within their team. You give them that ownership, you equip, you skill them, and you start to see them flourish. Because if I asked most managers, so how much of your time is spent on 20% of your people? 80% of their time is probably spent on those 20% of people who are underperforming. Well, helping everybody to perform even better and coming together to make it happen. So bringing your resources with you, be it people, be it systems, the technology, and combining it with your processes, those have to combine. So we can't just focus on people. We have to bring and be aware of the sort of the behavioral change we're trying to achieve. What does that mean in terms of how we adapt our recruitment? So here we're looking at processes. How do we adapt our reward and recognition? How do we need to adapt our performance meetings? Well, we don't call them performance meetings. We have regular monthly one-to-ones.
Yeah.
Where we explore what's working well, what's not, what can we do, how can I help you, and here's what I need from you going forward. So it is transformation for individuals, for their team, for their whole business, with the acknowledgement that we can't just do it with people. We have to change our technology that supports the people, and we have to change the processes too.
You're talking about full alignment, aren't you, really, of systems, processes, structures, and people, really.
Yeah. So a great example of this is when people are being trained up for agile project management, and they go away, they come back with all this new technology, they're really revved up to make it happen, and then bang, they go for the budget, and of course that process hasn't been changed. You've still got 3 months to get approval through the system or whatever. So that's the importance of alignment. We have to have that process, technology, people alignment to really create that highly productive culture.
Yeah, sure. And what would you say is needed to keep, once you've got a new culture largely in place, how do you keep reinforcing it and make sure it's supported, if you like, and lives in this new way?
Absolutely. Well, certainly you recruit to it. And that's not often very obvious to many organizations. You recruit and you update your website, you update your employer branding, your employee experience. You create and you thread it through everything we do. So we often look as businesses at customer journeys, but start looking at your employee journey. Look at your employee journey from start to finish, and where do you need to thread the culture through it? You have leaders who lead and are behaving differently. They're tangibly sharing stories about what's different for them, what they're doing as an executive team, how they as an individual. You have them sponsoring things around culture, which and they're sharing their commitment. You then bring the managers through the same way. So it's all about that whole picture rather than just focusing on the behaviors itself. And making things work, and where they're not working, review them and figure out why, and redesign and reshape. Keep adapting. We
continuous review, reinforcement.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Certainly the one-to-one monthly catch-ups where I'm taking an interest in you as an individual. I'm here to support you. I'm also here to put you in the right direction if things aren't going right. I'm able to have both conversations, one that will absolutely motivate you, and one about those difficult conversations as to, okay, what I really need going forward is a focus here, because that has to be achieved within the next 6 weeks. Yeah.
But the benefits are just so massive, aren't they? It is a long, continuous journey that needs reinforcement.
It is.
It's definitely a journey that sounds like it's worth taking.
It is, certainly can. And it's a joy to watch that transformation, be part of that transformation. So we can help as consultants, we can help as mentors, we can help as coaches. So combination of any of the three to help you grow your resources.
That's been great. Thanks again. Always interesting to talk. Some great
It's a
tips and
delight. We could
ideas.
go on for hours, I'm sure.
Really good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.